Hello, hello. So today I'm going to finish up. Well, I guess we should go where we left off, and we had basic what's this called? Diffused lighting. So I'm going to try to set up the some specular lighting now with our rendering pipeline. And first I'm gonna refactor or redo the scene rather because I don't want the light behind the block. So our light position, I believe we want the x-axis. No, it's the z-axis. Okay, now we have our light right by where the camera starts. So to implement specular to finish up Phong shading, um, we're gonna need to update our fragment shader, and we'll need a new uniform camera pause. And we'll set in our render, I believe the camera does expose position. Yes, right here. So we can just simply in here, are you camera pause, uniform location, pause, I believe I called it. Yes. GL uniform 3F, U camera pause 1 ref cam, camera dot. Oh, I should change the access on that. Yeah, position to be public with a private, would get private set. We're gonna call that position. But naming conventions, it's just saying. No, I don't want to make a private. Um, and then here, camera position. Um, yeah, we'll need to do a basic bar temp camera pause position, and then we ref the temp one there. And now we'll need to go back into our fragment shader, and we need our floats specular strength. Gonna just follow the line OpenGL because they say 0.5. So now, okay, so in the next chapter, rather, they go over setting all the intensities and stuff. So we'll need the view direction with the reflect vector. So to calculate that, view direction, we can get that by normalizing the view camera position, camera pause minus the frag pause. And then we have this neat OpenGL function called reflect light and our normal, which we calculate up here. And, oh, I made a type of reflect direction. Then we calculate our actual specular component. Take the power of the max of the dot product of the view direction and the reflect direction. We don't want to have negative light, and it just puts to the power 32. And our vector specular strength times spec times the light color. And this 32 is the shininess. Different values have different outcomes, but I'm just going to use 32 for now. And now we add in our specular color. And now we look correctly, or if we did this correctly, spec, I forget something in here, view, I made a typo. That's also a typo. Now this should all be good. Yes, we have our little, what's that called? Specular reflection, I guess. Yeah, looks cool. I like that. So I'm going to try to make the light move around just to make sure everything looks right. So I'm just gonna make a private float position, or let's call it light offset, I guess. And in our render function, or update rather, we make the cube spin. Oh, I forgot to bind the translation. So we don't need this line anymore. Yeah, our specular's there, but I want to put this back at the origin. Cool. Now let's just get the light. I don't know, we could slide it back and forth. So I'm just gonna set the x-axis. So we want to underscore light offset plus equals 0. Or 0.1 or 0. I'll do 0.1 f. And our light pause equals new vector 3 math dot sign light offset, and then minus, or 1 and minus 2. 1 minus 2, I believe. I'll have to cast this back to a float. Okay, that is moving a little quick. And we can scale that up by like 3, I guess. Yeah, check that out. We've fallen lighting. I guess we can try doing load math.cosine times 2. So now our light is somewhat, actually if I put that to 3, rebuild and stuff. Yeah, we've got our light moving in a circle now. Our other cube just rotating. It's cool. I do think we should try to move, instead of doing the lighting calculation in uh, world space, we could probably do it in view space. Which I believe we'll have to calculate something in here. Let me think. Well, first of all, I do want to clean this up a little bit. Ambient, diffuse, specular. I wonder what would happen if we tried to. I don't know if this will do anything, but that's what shaders are for, sorta. You're supposed to, like, experiment with them. So we do want our texture, we do want our UV chord, uh, which is like that, because it's pre-baked into the mesh. I don't know, let's just see what happens. Cool, we have lighting with the texture. Do want this to spin a little slower. Let's change the cube color. I'm gonna open up a color picker. Let's do a nice blue. So for this, I think I can just do that. What's this saying? Possible last fire. I don't care. 196. And then if we group these all up, can go and do because we just want floats, or okay, I guess it doesn't matter. Possible last, I don't care about that. So our cube should be. It is not. Okay. Trying to think. Uh, let's see. I guess. Ah, okay. We'll just 17F. There we go. So this should be blue. Yeah. Okay, so if we wanted to, we should be able to, like, I don't know, bind the color to the rotation. Color equals new. We do want vector 3. Then what do we have here? Oops. I don't know. We do want does this I think math or we could just cosine the rotation. Math dot cosine rotation. Uh, Cast those to floats. Floats math dot sine rotation. No, let's This is pretty gross. Oh, yeah, cool. So the next thing I do want to change, I want to not have to do this stuff. I want this all to be uh, done internally in the shader. So I think asset is for my shader classes. Let's think. So we need a way to, we need a function that will get the location and set the location. So public void, I don't know if this is setting on uniform 3F. Oh, I guess, yeah, that, let's make this disposable, which, go up here, or just, okay, public void dispose. And then we can go gl dot deletes, I think, program. Change to call GC suppress. I don't know, whatever. Should still, yeah, it just runs the same. Okay. Okay, let's just, why is there, I don't know, sine versus sine is. Okay, we've got an orbiting light. Oh, okay. Protected virtual void dispose. just reference the Microsoft documentation for this. And then we call GAC. Okay, so next I want to change this up. I think I can just public. I can just copy the thing, I guess. So we take the location, so string for the name, and then what does this take? I do want to know what count is. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Minus location in ref read only vector 3 value. Sure, import. Okay, whatever. Let's just do. Okay, so it does GL get uniform location does return -1 if it fails. So new location Get uniform location, ID name, if then, do we don't have a logger. I'm just gonna manually do this for now. Error, shader does not have uniform. And then we want to return. Oops. You should be in brackets. And then we return. Otherwise, GL uniform F view location count 1. Oh, yeah. In. I guess these should be oops, in instead of F. So now in our scene, instead of doing all this, let's say, are we saving our shader? No. Light, color, light, pause, camera, pause. That's good. We want to pass light, color, light, pause, camera, position. There's got to be a better way of doing this without having to create a temporary variable. Okay, looks like everything transitions smoothly. Saves a lot of hassle. Now we just need to update that in here, which I could probably just duplicate the same value onto the shader. Oh, that's right. I don't need to save the shader because the actual cube has that saved. Why does that happen? Cube main cube shader. There. And then our renderer, yeah, rather our so we do need a uniform matrix public uniform matrix for F name, and then we'll take a reference to the matrix. I'm just gonna form. Form matrix for F. Translation. Transform. Okay. So I do think we should implement that shader internally or into the actual engine instead of having it be game side since it's just it's a basic just plain shader. So I'm just going to add directory assets or engine assets. Add directory shader. Basic shader. Vertex. Yes, I want to add it to source control. So we need our position, vector normal. Let's match the cap position and normal. And we are using 33 core. I think anyway. Yeah. Normal. And back to get our UV coordinates, world, space, metadata, U translation, projection, view. I'm just retyping this. I don't know why. Honestly, translation. We're also using 30 color. Lighting, data. Okay, so we will have to chain the shaders because of how OpenGL does stuff. If we want to have multiple like multiple shaders in the. Hmm. Eventually I could multipass it, but for now, I'm just gonna be do multipass or single pass just with multiple functions. Okay. Um, I don't know. I guess I'll probably have to have all this data. I'm gonna try to look that up real quick because I am not quite sure. Give me one moment. All right. Was just reading some Stack Overflow stuff, and I think I know how I want to handle this. So all this basic fragment stuff will have its own, or the render call will be tweaked up a little bit, and we will have a few new classes for rendering because, or, well, so if we look at our current shader, we have our ambient strength and our specular strength and the lighting color or the uh yeah, the light color and the actual color of the object. So realistically, all we need to separate out is this the specular strength, this little 32, which is, like shininess. And then we have our diffuse color, um, and our specular color. And then we can have a basic light class if we wanted to. I don't know. But I do want to set up like a basic material. Um, material. Let me try that again. Class. Material. And it's just gonna be, we're gonna have a public vector3 from OpenTK. And this will be our object color, get set, and we'll give it a default white. Click vector3, and we also had our uh, I think we could add a fuse color. No, we'll also give the material a shininess. I'll just default that to 32. Like, do we have? I guess we could do texture class. Thanks for the follow. I don't know. I'm honestly just trying something new. I do a lot of C++, and I found OpenTK, and I was like, sure, I'll try it out. Right now, I'm updating my rendering thing to take a material and to have basic implemented shaders, because right now, if I run We've got basic Phong lighting and, you know, light, specular, ambient diffuse. Just implemented this tonight, and I'm trying to figure out how I want that to work engine side. Like, I'm thinking we just have basic shaders, basic fragment and vertex shaders, and then if you were to make your actual thing, then you would just, basic fragment, and that would do all the lighting stuff. If I can recognize, or if I know GLSL correctly. I don't know. I've just been talking to myself for the like past hour. It's just how it is. Um, there it is, texture. And I do have a way to bind. So, yeah, I can probably, if I go to the material, public, texture. What do you mean I feel free? Uh, I want from assets. I do want this nullable. And can I say this is a ref? Yeah. Okay, and then material texture. Texture. Texture, I think. Uh, ref. I have no idea what I'm doing. Um, um, I guess I can just do this. If we do have a texture, then we set it. Somebody sent me an email. Okay. Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, I don't know. I I still consider myself more of a beginner when it comes to C sharp. I typically stick to C++. From my understanding, ref is like a pointer, like a C++ pointer, I think. I don't know. Material texture. Okay. So yeah, we can then in this case we probably don't even need a constructor since this is all has blank default values. And now we can create our Well, do we need a constructor for this particular material? Because I mean, I have all my default or all my properties and stuff with defaults, and we can, not use a texture unless I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. Oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, uh, I can probably make these optionals. Oops. Oh, I'm just gonna leave them as was. We'll assume you're setting on texture. No, we don't care. So, geomaterial. In this case, I will give it a texture. So, var, no, cube material, new material. What color are we using? Just white. Vector 381. Color 32. Texture. Yes, I do have Discord, but I haven't like set up a server or anything. I probably will later this week. Yeah. I mean, I have a server, but it's more tailored specifically for reverse engineering, not like a general community, whatever. I mean, I could probably just set up channels or something in there. Back, I'm just gonna here. I'm just gonna drop the. I do not like Rust. There. I prefer C++ over Rust, but that's because I have like over a decade of C++ experience. And it's just something I enjoy more than Rust. It's more familiar to me. I'll set up, you can join the Discord server, I don't care, but I will set up like uh stream stuff in the future. So, oh, maybe near the end of the stream, I could go look through some of my other some of my other projects and show you how I do stuff without garbage collection, if that would be something that interests you. I don't know how long I'm going to be going for, but we'll figure it out. I'm just going till I feel like I'm done and happy with the progress I made. So anyways, we have our material and we have I'm gonna add another render function, public void draw material draw draw with material. This is just a temporary name. Render. Oh wait, I forgot. I could probably just I C# does have uh function overloads, right? Or what is it called when where you can have the same function name with different signatures. I believe it should. Okay. Yeah, it's been a hot, yeah, camera and material. So we do want to use the shader, find the vertex array, and let's look at our basic uh, scene. Copy, paste that over. Uh, Learned arena-based allocation. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there are a ton of ways to manage um, manage memory. Personally, I don't really um, my stuff I don't allocate or pre-allocate memory then distribute it out because that's just something I've never necessarily needed because my engines have never seen a game on them before. But if you do write a game and you have like a ton of entities or objects or whatever you want to call them, I can definitely see, or you're like parsing a level file, for example, I can definitely see where just having a big giant block of memory that you just hand out pieces to could be much faster than allocate out or malloc over and over and over. Anyways, so we will need to, I do want to go back into our shader because these basic shaders, coming across ECS, data oriented design, backend. Yeah, I've never really done cloud software before, so I can't really tell you. But yeah, um, let's just add another uh, silly light, silly light properties. Tease. We have in our material uh, the shininess, which is a float shininess. I don't know if that's even, is that spelled correctly? Shininess, yes. I don't know. Sometimes words just don't look right to me. It's just one of those fun little things that happens, I guess. Uh, shininess. Okay. So we will need to bind our object color, shininess, and our texture. So we can go material. First, we can start with the material and Texture, just find that first. Okay. Um, I have something that's sort of like a hot take when it comes to rewriting stuff like that to learn. I see how that can be useful to learn, but the two languages can be very different in certain situations, and you would have to like redesign the core of it to really do. I don't know what I'm saying. It's got its benefits, but it's also got its downsides to do that. I mean, like the core utils or whatever, um, that started as wasn't that like a hobby project? And people were like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. And then people started like contributing to it or whatever. But the thing is, let me hide my bookmarks. Do that. Um, there's a lot of issues like where was it? Um, there were certain things like regressions that will inevitably happen. Like this, if I were to, you know, I believe I Corey Tills is just baked into date. Yeah. So if I were month and want oh one well do dates Q or dates dash D right dash month percent. I don't know what exactly yeah, that I don't think I did that correctly. I don't know. Like if you do date 9999 one show one. It's bash or yeah, bash. You know, Linux bash, terminal bash or whatever. Windows uses batch, Linux and Mac OS use bash. Yeah, like I'm sure eventually this, will match the original, but it will be a long time before that happens, and there could, more issues could pop up. Another one I can think of, think I thought there was like somebody porting. No, somebody. Uh, no, I never mind. Optional must appear after all required. Isn't that Um, Optional parameters, or, oh, why'd that do that? Go away. Optional parameters must appear after all. Um, Must be compile time constant. Okay, sure. Have to pass a color. I think that's a reasonable requirement. So we will need to, um, well, object.shader uniform 3F. I do want to rename that. Set vector 3. Set matrix 4. Public void set float string name value argue location if yep, return and then ngl dot uniform set uniform 1f. I think that's all I need. Yeah. Should we set our vector 3 and we'll need our material has the object color, so object color material object color. And I do want it just to make things a little easier. Private vector 3 object color public vector 3 object color get set if value. Redundant check before assignment. Fine. And then this goes. A by reference return cannot be used in a property that returns by value. Sure, we'll do that instead. And that is going to be, yup. I thought I had something for this already. A by reference return used in property that returns by value. In property that returns by value. Can I just do that? And that will not work. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to how I had that. I don't know what I'm doing. Our material, object color, object color. And then light position and light color aren't known, but camera position, light color, light position aren't known yet. So I'll need to find some way to handle that. Should do shininess. Um, I've got an idea. If I go in here, I could pass by value. All this new value. This is gonna be gross hack, but new value. Inline temporary value. Variable. I don't know what it's talking about. Well, in this one, technically, we don't even need that. Oops, that is Visual Studio Code. Okay. So we don't need to pass object color anymore. We'll need light color and light position and camera position. Get rid of these ins. Camera. Camera position actually can be moved into this function too. Object, shader, set, matrix for F, camera pause, camera position. That's it. Vector 3. This should all work. Oh, and draw. And then we pass match cube material. Did everything right? Oh, that was transform there. Okay, the cube just doesn't draw at all anymore. Oh, because I completely forgot this stuff. And the draw call as well. Draw arrays, primitive triangles. Cool. Now we can go back to our scene. Let's say we bump the shininess to 256, for example. Okay. So we have materials now, which is great. Bump that back down to 32. I do want, you know, break away from this having to. So I think I'm gonna try to refactor to pull these internal shaders. So we would need, if the working directory is VaultFall, we'll need, I guess I could, I mean, what's the harm in pre-baking the shaders, or pre-baking them into the engine, like putting their source in the class besides, I guess, memory, right? So I have two. I'm not in Windows 7. I'm on Linux. Yeah, it's a neat theme. Anyway, I think it is anyways. So I have two different directories. This is the actual game. This is the engine. And we don't want to hard reference the engine path or with like directory stuff. I'm not going to think about this for now. I'm just going to ln or ln. I forgot the command. It is target. Okay. So cd vault. Okay, clear. So we are using work here. So we can ln s engine asset slash VaultCore engine assets. Now if we ls. I don't think I was in the right directory. I do have .NET CLI. Oops. There's dot. Oh, maybe I could do like a copy after build or something, like a post build for launch. Um, Well, the engine is a dependency to or the game is depending on the engine and it's like that already. It's just the engine will have its own internal assets that it will use, like basic lighting shaders, so you don't have to dump all of this and so you don't have to write all the lighting calculations. Yeah, yeah. If I go edit CS project. Right here, I am referencing the project. I want to include the core engine assets, this folder here, which has shaders and stuff. I want it accessible from the game without the game needing to like copy these out of the engine, if does that make sense? Okay. Hang on, I want to try one thing. Um, isn't there like item group content? Yes, content include VaultCore engine assets. Include assets. I think I did this right. Because if we build, and I like, ls engine, oh, um, it sort of is, except I want it in an engine assets folder and not loose. I guess, can I can, what happens if I add just a directory engine assets? Can I drag that? Yes. Okay, that is gross. Well, if I do that, if I do that, it will have everything. See, including like binary stuff. So I think I'll just Gross, but, you know, whatever. So I'm gonna create new shaders. And we just want to use basic fragment, basic vertex. Basic fragment. That's vertex shader, basic vertex. Basic fragment. I need to update my shader class. Set up basic shaders. Bar. Vertex shader, go file, read all text. Engine assets shaders. Verts. Basic shader. No idea if this will work, but backhand at wire. After we create our shader handle, or rather our program, vert, uh, frag, uh, basic fragment, basic vertex. GL attach shader handle, basic. If this works, I'll be proud of myself. I don't think it will, but it's worth a try. Okay. Um, I wasn't expecting this to just work. Just to make sure I did this correctly, um, okay, I'm just gonna remove that folder as a whole. It's not a sim link, and I'll just do. Can I find the path? Engine assets, shader, basic shader, frag and verts. Oh, oh, GL shader source. You can pass an array. Okay, so hmm. Check OpenTK docs. Or OpenGL, maybe they'll have information, I guess. Okay, I'm just I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so I have to predefine that stuff. So there we go. So shaders are pretty simple now. Was this worth it? I don't know. I mean, it means my shaders are closer. Uh, you know, to being built or to can predefine. I forgot you could do function stubs. Um, anyways, what did we do today? So we updated the shaders, added some little helper functions, updated the renderer to have some new helper functions and use them. And we have some basic materials now. Camera, you can read the position. And then we just have our basic shaders. So add helper functions to shaders. Add primitive support for materials. Materials provide basic shaders for games to use. Basic long lighting shaders for games to use. See VaultCore. Core. Get log or get status. Okay, get push. And then here. Don't care about that. Updated VaultCore. I can refactor this one more time to just do shader. And then delete these. Make sure it still works. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna call it quits for today. Um, Mostly refactoring and lighting stuff today, but I'll probably stream again tomorrow. Yeah, if there's anyone else here, uh, you can join the Discord. I'll set up channels and stuff. Uh, boom, boom, boom. But yeah, let's see who's live right now. Look for somebody to raid. Uh, first I'm gonna finish my commits. Refactor as support for new material, or add basic material for testing and nesting. Refactor shaders to use the new engine side ones. But yeah, let's go ride this guy. He seems pretty cool. Yeah.